I give out 5 stars like it's candy, but we are going to attempt, this video ends when I find a 5-star read. And we're gonna do this with some of the books from my fall TBR, so this is all gonna be witchy vibes. But we have A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire. Then we have Masters of Death, Bewitched. I have high hopes for this one because it has a my wife trope in there. The Spell Shop. This is actually a book club pick. Night of the Witch. This one sounded so good. You have me with a revenge plot every single time. Say less. I'm here for it. Bonded by Thorns. This is a White Shoes Beauty and the Beast retelling. I have high hopes for this. And Foxglove King. When I first went to read this, I was going into a reading slump, so I wasn't able to enjoy it as much. And I think I got like 2 chapters in and then called it good. Yeah. See, I got to page 54 a year ago. So we're gonna start all over again from the beginning, try to restart it, and hopefully one of these or more can be 5 stars. And we're actually going to be starting with A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire because I'm in a cutesy witchy mood. That's what I'm feeling right now. So I don't want to jinx myself, but I am 158 pages into A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire, and I am truly enjoying myself. This book follows an FMC that is a vampire and she is stuck in a gemstone. The male main character is a werewolf who hates the fact that he is single and has been single for a long time. So at a wedding, he gets drunk, and when he goes home after the wedding, he's just browsing eBay and ends up buying a gemstone for a penny, which he thinks is like a complete joke. He's like, who just puts a gemstone on eBay for a penny? So he buys it, completely forgets about it, and then 2 weeks later, he gets a delivery at his door that is the gemstone, and then when he opens up the package, a vampire comes out of it. A vampire that's been stuck in the gemstone, and the last time that she was let out was 1969, so she has no idea how to use a microwave or a phone or drive a car or any of that sort of thing. She's used to just being an assassin and killing people, so he's trying to help her acclimate to the world in the 21st century because the last time that she was out and about, they didn't have cars or stoves or microwaves or things like that. So I am really enjoying how she's trying to acclimate back into the world, and he's trying to assist her, and then he is also very anxious, so he has things going on. He's just spreading himself very thin, and she's just trying to not make things harder for him, but also help him out where she can. It's just so sweet. I'm really liking it so far. It's really entertaining. I will be back once I have done a little bit more damage to this book. I did finish A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire. Now this one wasn't a 5-star read for me. I gave this a 3 out of 5. Perfect for fall. It has witches, werewolves. There's a lot of parts in it that are supposed to make you laugh. They didn't really make me laugh that hard. The beginning really hooks you in and keeps you going up to the 60% mark, and then by that point you really just want it to be over, and that's really kind of how it felt. It took me so many days to finish this. I feel like I've been reading this for a week, if not 2 weeks, where usually if a book is really good, I'm gonna devour it within 48 hours max. But I did enjoy it. I would recommend this book to other people. I would say if you're looking to read books that have fall themes in it, or you just like books with magic, they're a little bit just lighthearted or a palate cleanser in between a book that has really hard world building, then this one's great to read. It turns out this is actually book 3 in the series, which I had no idea. I didn't even know there was book 1 or 2, but Book Outlet is having a sale, so I'm probably gonna place an order for the other 2 books. But we're gonna start this, get a few chapters in, and fingers crossed that this is the one. Reading update. It's currently Friday. I didn't get to read as much as I wanted to yesterday. I really didn't get to read anything yesterday, which was Thursday. That was due to it being me and my boyfriend's 4-year anniversary, and no, I didn't forget about our anniversary. I just didn't quite remember that we had plans. So I knew about the anniversary. I'm not a bad person, I swear. To celebrate it, we did have a nice quiet date in. Since it was Thursday, we were both very busy from work, and we had work the next day as well. So we ended up just watching some of the Fast and Furious movies because I was on a kick of that, so I was doing a whole marathon from movie 1 to the current movie. If you know, you know. Those movies are just phenomenal. I also really want a book with race car drivers in it because I'm sure there's a book out there somewhere, and I just really want it in my life. Anyways, getting back to the actual reading vlog, I finished Bewitched. I actually just finished this 20 minutes ago. I would give it a solid 4 stars. I was a little frustrated with the female main character because of her memory loss. Now, that drove the entire book, so I can't really be mad at it. but it frustrated me because a lot of the things that kept happening wouldn't have happened if she had her memory, and we really didn't understand why her memory was affected until very late in the book. I will say that I am glad that we did get the answer to what happened to her memory and how it was connected to other things that were happening in the story. I don't want to give you away any spoilers. I will say though that the love interest, I really hope he's not the love interest, because homie is giving Tamlin from ACOTAR. That's the vibes that I'm getting, and I pray to everything that is holy that he is not the actual love interest, because if he is, I'm gonna go throw myself off a bridge. He is awful, he is mean, he is rude, he's like, I absolutely detest him, and I really hope that she gets a different love interest and it's not him. So I'm gonna give this book a 4 out of 5. I did like the mystery aspect of it. I do have book 2 already, so I will be reading that as soon as I finish this reading vlog, because I do have a few more books that I have to read. 2 of them is Foxglove, which we know by now. I sound like a broken record, but I want to read this so badly. I just want to dive back into this world and with these characters. Honestly, I cannot freaking wait. I will actually be reading The Spell Shop. Yay! I did start this book already today because I have the audiobook, and this is for a book club pick that I'm doing with my friends. I had 30 days to read this book and it's due tomorrow. I say it's due like it's a class assignment. It's not a class assignment, but I don't want to be that person that shows up to book club while we're all supposed to be talking about the book and I have no idea what we're talking about. I don't want to be that person. That's not a good person to be. So I am trying to finish it. I have the audiobook and I listen to my audiobooks on 2.5x speed. So I have about 4 hours left. So I'm gonna just go make some dinner, do some yoga, listen to this as much as I can, play with my dogs outside. Anything to kind of keep me moving and force myself to listen to this book. It is not going well. This is definitely not gonna be a 5-star read for me. I have to read it for tomorrow, and it was a pick for this vlog, so it's gonna get done, but so far it's not going well. The only thing that I remember about the story so far is that the female lead worked at a library that had magical books in it, and she's kind of like one of the guards that guards these books. The library goes up in flames, and then she moves to a magical island that she used to live at, and she took some of the books with her, so now she works at a different library. Yeah, but as soon as I finish this bad boy, I'm starting Foxglove, because enough is enough. I need to read this. I need so badly to go back to Death and Fate and my girl Signa. I need more of them in my life, so let's hope one of these is a 5-star, and we know which one it isn't gonna be. So I'm not sure how, but I did it. I just finished The Spell Shop, and I have 2 hours left until I have to go to the book club meet. I want to freaking roll. The story was actually not that bad. It did have a very slow build up, and it felt like it started in the middle of the week. Like, you know, usually the week starts on a Monday afternoon. This one started on a Wednesday afternoon, and it took me until like chapter 18 to truly figure out what the storyline was, what is going on, why should I care for these characters, and I would give it a 3 out of 5 overall. I think that's a pretty solid rating. It is cute, whimsical, fairy-like, magic, but I would have to recommend it to like a specific type of person. It didn't really touch my heart in any sort of way. It was an okay story. I still stand by what I said, that the best thing about this is the cover. I really do love the cover, and it does embody the story very well, because like even the little cat is in the story and the cottage is in there. There was a lot of cool things that happened within the story. It just didn't really pull at my heartstrings, but it was a good story. I will say that. I'm glad that I did finish it. Would I have finished it if I didn't have to? Probably not. I would have probably DNF'd it, but this is what book clubs are all about. You know, they push you to read books that you normally wouldn't pick up by yourself. It is the moment we've all been waiting for. I am going to be starting Foxglove. Now, I don't want to give any spoilers from book 1, so I will just say that I really want Death to have his happily ever after. I think he deserves it after everything he's had to endure, and I don't want to say anything else about any other characters because I feel like I might give a spoiler without really meaning to. But just know that if you read this series, you're going to be addicted to it. You're going to be addicted to the characters and the world and the murder mystery aspect to it. It's lovely. lovely, lovely. I have nothing but good things to say about it, so I'm gonna go and start reading this, and I will come back with an update once I have done some damage to it. It has been a few days since I did a reading update for this reading vlog, and I might have jinxed myself because we're not doing too well. I have not found a 5-star within the last few weeks that I've been doing this reading vlog, and I'm really not trying to be that difficult. I just feel like I said, oh, it's gonna be really easy to find a 5-star, and no, it has not been. I did finish Foxglove. I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5. This is book 2 to Belladonna, and while I did like being back into this world and the mystery aspect of death, fate, and Cigna, and them all having to kind of work things out because there's a big conflict that has to do with fate and death, this book just didn't give me that same feeling that book 1 gave me, where I was like absolutely in love with it. Now, it was a great story. I do like the author's style of writing. I did like the characters. In Foxglove, we got to meet a lot of new characters, and we spent a lot of time in other characters' head. It wasn't just Cigna, who's the female main character from book 1, Belladonna. Now, I wasn't mad about it because we do need to get to know this other new character that was introduced because of what happens in book 3, and I did like the ending for book 2. I feel like I might enjoy book 3 a little bit more. It's just we spent so much time with these new characters and like in their heads and their emotions and things that were going on that we just really didn't spend that much time with Cigna as much as I had hoped, and she was the reason why I wanted to read this book very badly. Now, they did have a happily ever after. She did have a happily ever after at the end, which I'm glad because I don't really know how that would have literally been pulled into a third book. Like, what now, right? So overall, I did enjoy it. It just didn't give me that same feeling and emotion, and like didn't captivate me like book 1 did. So because of that, it was a 4 out of 5. I did also finish The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic. This book was very sad, in my opinion. I was not expecting for it to be that sad. Maybe I should have known because it literally says heartbreak in the name, right? Silly me, silly goose. This book follows an FMC that is cursed. So she will lose her magic if she has 4 heartbreaks in her life. So this story is particularly sad because we go through loss with her and grieving. Her grandma is actually sick and on her deathbed, and then the same time that her grandma is sick and she's trying to find a cure for making sure that her grandma can stay alive, her ex that broke her heart actually comes back to town and she has to deal with him. There's also like sadness that she has to deal with when it comes to like her brother. So the plot was all over the place. It did keep you pretty entertained because you never really knew like, okay, who's going to be her next heartbreak, because we knew that that's where it was going to lead. Someone was going to be another one of her heartbreaks, and when she got to 4, she was going to lose her magic. So I did really enjoy this book. There was some parts that actually really did have my attention. I did love the book. I did give it a 4 out of 5. It just wasn't a 5-star for me. I really don't know what is happening, because then I read The Foxglove King. Now, I really don't think I should have read this as I read Foxglove, because Belladonna is mentioned on here, and Foxglove, and then Foxglove and Belladonna are also mentioned in that series. So Foxglove and Belladonna are used differently in this book than it is in the other series. Of course, they're 2 completely different series, but I kept comparing in my head this book to Foxglove. I don't know why, don't ask me, it just happened. So I did enjoy it. I wouldn't say I connected with the characters emotionally as much. Like, I really didn't care what was going to happen with the characters. It was all over the place and not a good way. I ended up giving it a 3 out of 5. Like, it was well written, I will say that. I just don't see myself continuing this series because I really don't care. Like, I don't really care to know where this book is gonna go, and yes, I am missing a nail. Overall, it is a good book. I really don't see myself reading The Hemlock Queen anytime soon, but it wasn't bad. I just feel like if I would have read it maybe when I didn't read Belladonna and Foxglove, I would have felt differently. In my head, I just kept comparing this book to that book and how that book was making me feel compare to this one, which is saying a lot because Foxglove was also all over the place for me. Then last but not least, we have Bonded by Thorns. Now this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, White Shoes, and I really was excited to read this book, but I'm gonna have to soft DNF it. I started reading this on my Kindle and I got to like chapter 3. The female main character is aggravating to me. She is so annoying. I can't do it. I cannot. Maybe she has really major character development and we just have to wait to get there, but right now where I am in my head, I was like, I am really not enjoying this, so I'm not gonna force myself to read a book that I'm not enjoying. I'm not about that life. So I am going to be softy NFing that book. I will probably try to reread it in the future. It's just not going to be this fall season because I can't do it. It's just, no, it's not working out. I'm thinking about starting Phantasma, so this one has literally been all over my social medias lately. It's supposed to be like a death trials thing. The main character is trying to help her sister because her dad just died, and so her sister enters in this deadly competition, and then Ophelia, who's her main character, enters the deadly competition along with her sister to try to help her survive. Sounds awesome. It's supposed to be like a dark gothic romantasy. Yeah, the only thing deadlier than losing the game is losing your heart. I'm gonna stick it with this one, and I am going to hope and pray that this is a 5-star read, not only so we can finally wrap up this video, but also so I can have a good book that I read recently. Like, I haven't read a 5-star book in like the last 2 weeks. That's wild. That's crazy. So I really do think I jinxed myself because of that. So I will be back with an update, hopefully soon. I will pass you along to future Helen that will hopefully have some really good news for us. It has been a few seconds for you. For me, I have been in the trenches fighting for my life for the past 2 to 3 weeks because I haven't been able to read a book. I have tried. I wasn't able to finish any, but I actually found a book that brought me out of the trenches, and it also turns out to be a 5-star. Would you look at that? I didn't think we were going to be here. Never thought we were going to make it to this moment, but nevertheless, we have made it. Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto is now one of my favorite books of all time. Not only did it help me come out of a reading slump, along with other books that I read after this one that were also 5 stars, but for the sake of this video, we're just gonna go over the one that I read that was a 5-star. Now, Another Love Song follows Gwen and Xander that are both professional instrument players. One plays the cello and the other one plays the violin. They actually have to work together to do a few shows, and then they're like in this orchestra together. Now, Xander is like a prodigy, but nobody knows that he's a prodigy because he's keeping it a secret, and then Gwen ends up finding out about his true identity. And they just have the sweetest love story ever. They actually have to learn to play an instrument together. Well, she has to learn to play an instrument, and he's like the one teaching her how to play the instrument. So they spend a lot of time together, but they kind of can't stand one another. So it had a little bit of like enemies to lovers with forced proximity in there. This book is just very sweet when it comes to like romance books, and you just want something that's light and it will make you happy and it will keep you flipping pages. This is the perfect book to do that. It was very easy to follow along as well. Like, the settings where you were at were very realistic. It didn't really take your brain that much to have to imagine where you were, what the people looked like, what the concerts look like. So I think because of that is how it helps me really be able to get back into reading, because my brain wasn't working that hard. I think one of the reasons why I went into a reading slump was because I have been sick for the past like 4 weeks, and I have been on so much medication that my brain was just very foggy from all the medication, and I've literally just been sleeping so much. So being able to read a book that my brain didn't have to work that hard to understand the characters in the world and what was happening and what was the conflict and what was the resolution just really helped me out a lot. And because of that, this is now going to be one of my new Roman Empire books. I will probably never be sick of recommending it, so prepare to be sick of me because I will recommend this book for the rest of my life. It was beautiful, awesome, 5 stars, and I cannot believe that we made it to the end of this video. So thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was kind of chaotic and all over the place and a little bit messy, but I appreciate your support, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll be back soon with more bookish content. Bye!